Okay, let's have a closer look at your prison. When you're feeling like a dishrag, when you feel like you're in prison, what does that look like? What does that feel like? What does that cause you to do or not do? The big reveal. Sticky notes, gotta love them. Put them back here. Okay. When you're in prison, do you feel like you have a lot of control? Odds are good you don't. Do you feel like you have abundance? No. No control and scarcity are huge driving forces when we're stuck in our prison. They keep us stuck because they zap our energy. It's like, well, why bother? I can't do anything to change my situation anyway. I might as well just sit here with the bag of cookies and watch the reality shows, flip through the channels. They keep us stuck in the way we handle how we get out of bed in the morning. Do you open your eyes and spring from bed, or do you barely get your eyes open and drag your butt out knowing that you have to face another day? How is your sleep affected by all this? Okay? It's a pretty confusing time for us too. We talked yesterday about not only the confusion going on in the fact that we wake up someday and don't know who we are, but the confusion brought on in our bodies by the change of life, by menopause. So we are confused on so many different levels, and we feel like we're in a fog. We feel like we're asleep. We are not fully awake. When we are not engaged and in control of our life, when we feel like there's scarcity and we are confused by what's going on, it's like being asleep. And sometimes we do everything we can to keep ourselves asleep. We take medication for those aches and pains that numb the brain and the pain. We have that extra cocktail before or after dinner. We start to dress like we were maybe 25 because we want to feel better, even though our bodies may not fit into those skinny jeans anymore. We even go for a makeover, which is great. Nothing wrong with looking our best, ladies. And it's wonderful to go to the makeup counter at the Bay here in Canada, or perhaps Macy's in the States, and have somebody do your face. Problem with that, though, is a lot of times the people doing your makeover are pretty young. And their idea of what you should look like really has nothing to do with who you really are. And after you spent an hour having them do your face and maybe a couple $100 on the product because they're such good pitch women, you look in the mirror and you go, oh my God, all that did is that foundation just deepened the lines around the eyes, and my crow's feet look like they've got spackle in them now. And so you take the products, you dump them in the trash, and you go back to sleep. This can kind of lead to other feelings of being unstable. And unstable in body and mind can cause all kinds of ailments in the body, which we go back to the doctor for from our prescriptions, or we grab that bottle of wine or that can of beer, and the circle keeps repeating itself. And there's a whole sense of being broken. There's something wrong with me. I'm broken. I need to be fixed. Why don't I have the energy anymore? And then there's the temptation to rationalize and justify it all. Well, it's because of my age. It's only natural that you don't have the energy when you get to be my age. And I am going through menopause, the change of life. Oh my God, that's going to create all kinds of havoc. So no wonder I feel unstable, off balance, out of harmony, out of sync. No wonder I feel so broken. I'm in a broken body. It's all part of age, and I just have to accept it. Sound familiar? All of that can also create a lot of this. An element of fear, which is why we try and sedate in the first place, because there are times when the fear gets so overpowering, when it rises up like bile in our throat, when our eyes burn with tears, when our stomach clenches in a knot, and we just don't know what to do. Excuse the flip chart. We just don't know what to do. We feel paralyzed by fear. Fear of the unknown, fear of what we've become, fear of trying, fear of stepping out of a comfort zone into something unknown in order to change our situation. Very common. Very, very common. But I want you to consider too, when you're in a place of being in prison, when you're experiencing all these emotions and any of the behaviors and activities that might go along with that, you're being reactive. You are reacting to circumstances outside of yourself or circumstances you are creating. Instead of taking action, you are just reacting to what is going on in your environment. Being in prison causes a lot of destruction. It is a destructive. How do you create when you are in so much emotional and physical pain? How do you create from fear? How do you create when you can't even get out of bed in the morning and get out of your pajamas? How do you create? You don't. You self-destruct. Which of course leaves you feeling powerless. Maybe hard to see that word, but it's powerless. Less power, no control, stuck in prison. Someone else is driving your engine. Someone else is running the show. Nada. You cannot do a thing about it. Have you told yourself that? Do you feel like that now? And we've talked about this. This is a biggie. This is a biggie. Pain. Even the word pain is painful. It aches in our bones. It aches in our brain. It aches in our body. It aches in our energy. It aches in our mind. It keeps us from living. It keeps us asleep. It keeps us confused. It goes hand in hand with the fear. They activate and react to each other. And all of this, all of these emotions, and all of the behaviors that may be triggered by those emotions keep us in a place of being disconnected. Disconnected from source. Disconnected from who we truly are. Disconnected from who we are supposed to be while we are here in this body, on this planet.